Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. I'm my buddy Rhett. It is Tuesday, 8:21 a.m., the 20th of January. It's super cold outside. I would guess it's like probably right at 32 degrees or something. Let's see, when I click on this little fire, apparently we're having fire weather warning kind of thing, which makes sense. Oh, it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so 32 is um, freezing, so that's 0 Celsius. So I think that would be like negative 2.5 degrees Celsius outside right now. I was out there; it didn't feel that cold, but we should have somewhere between probably about 3 to 4 more weeks of cold weather before things start warming up around here. So we're getting close to springtime. We have these like very early blooming yellow flowers that like to go out and do stuff. So I'm gonna hit add viz, and so we're still working. Basically, I think what happened was at the end of the day, let me hit F12. On the browser is app. The browser is focused and focused. So when I hit F12, it popped open. So we now have two animations, and I believe this first one is one of them is the animation that I don't want to have anymore. But the thing is if we look at our mesh, if I remember correctly. So right now we have animation ID number 8 in here. So yes, 7 is the one we would want in there, and then 8 shouldn't even exist. So that's the goal. I kind of broke that down into two parts. One is to add the new one and then assign the new one. So we are not assigning the new one. And then the other part would be to remove whatever else is adding. I felt like that'd be the easiest way to do it. All right, so over here, they click the button, the user clicks the button, we add a renderer, we create an animation. So we have our renderer ID, we have our animation. Okay, so the problem is right now we don't, for a given animation, or for a given renderer, we just sort of get a default animation in there. So we need to add our animation to the mesh. We get a default mesh. We need to do that. So I guess what I want to do is get a reference to the mesh. I don't to the render. I don't know if that's a good idea, but so we have this UI service, which I bet you I only have because like I couldn't figure out how to deal with two services injecting each other. So UI service. So let's see what UI service has available in there. Mission, delete renderer, publish renderer, change. So I have a given renderer ID. See, it can get the render service. I believe the render service is probably the one that has the um, ID, has the ability to get an ID. So let's go to our renderer service and get base renderer, get renderer by ID. See, this is what I want, I think. So let's see if there's any problem with bringing this st-renderer service into our component. I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. I really don't. I think it's going to be fun. But let's go to our app menu component. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. I think it is. Um, I suspect if we had started all over from scratch, UI service wouldn't even exist. Um, render service, and it's S space and time, st render service colon. inject. And I believe this is a perfectly safe behavior to get the renderer service this way. Let's see. Let's just make sure this is looks like it is spelled right. All right. So I would say a week. Right now, I'm 99% sure this could be fine. A week ago, before we did this little our detour, probably would have been more like terrified. Okay, I don't know if this is going to be fine or not because I didn't really understand when adding renderers was causing, or adding services was causing things to break. Now I feel like I understand that. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah. Okay, so now we have our renderer service. So for our given renderer service, I want to get our renderer. So step one, create an ST animation. I think we did that, right? Yep. Get animation for count. And it returns an ad. I don't think this gets an animation. I think it creates an animation, right? Return animation. ST animation ID. Yeah, see, this creates. This isn't get. This is create or generate or something like that. Rename that. This guy should help me out. Hopefully that. I think that's probably the only place we use it is in here. Okay, so now this is how we create our animation. So this step one goes up above here. Now, step two is get the mesh. Okay, so to get the mesh, I think we need to get the STID first. Or we need to get the renderer first. So const st renderer colon st renderer is equal to, and then it's this dot st render service dot get render by ID. So this is how we'll get a full-blown renderer, STID. And all this is for animation. And the reason that this is all screwy is because animation was the very first thing that we ever built out. So we're like kind of doing a gigantic circle, a year-long circle back to the beginning, because there was no way at that time we would have built it properly. Okay. Console log. And what we need to get the mesh from this renderer. From renderer. And see, when we're looking at this thing, we're going to be able to easily see where it is and all that. But what we don't easily see is the general overall architecture and if we're violating the general overall architecture when we do this. So we have to get our mesh from here. Now, our mesh is inside of our scene, so we actually have to get our mesh from the scene. Oh, I like this. See, so this architecture is forcing me to go in the tried and true path. And I think that is a sign of a good architecture, is when it forces you. Like the gravity, the friction, every bit of energy is pushing me to like take the animation and create an ST animations and then have a list of animations in there and all that. And it's just because we have a general architecture that is really starting to take hold. And that's really nice when that happens. Okay, so we need to get our const st scene. which is an ST scene. And then for now, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to comment that. And we know, because of our architecture, that there's an ST scene service, right? Just like this ST render service, and we know that we can we know that we can inject our ST scene service in here without any fear. So that's good. ST scene service. And then ST scene service. And this is equal to inject ST. Hello there, Red. Scene service. And then it did, and this time it just decided to bring it into us. So now const. Now it's nice that one of the things that's so nice is like I can declare this as a const inside of here, and I know that this reference will be deleted as soon as we get to this line here. I don't have to worry about that. ST scene. Oh, we already have that. Equals this. I love you too. ST scene service dot get scene by ID, and this is ST renderer ID. ST render dot scene ID. So in theory, console log need to get mesh from renderer. Comma ST scene. So now we need to get our mesh from this renderer. So man, that was nice. That all just worked out. And see inside that renderer, we get a, wait. Oh, that's the renderer. We don't want the renderer. Did I? New animation. What? Oh, scene. Scene. Now it was, so there was two renderers back to back. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is the actual scene, and we could tell by that. And see, notice we have our meshes. So we have four mesh. We have one mesh. It's an array of meshes. So, um, um, so I'm just gonna assume that there's only one. That there is only one mesh. So that means like if we ever ended up adding multiple meshes in this, only the first one would get an automatic animation, which I think is fine. Um, that should be automatically animated, because that's really technically more what we're doing. So we're going to say const and this is going to be mesh ID is equal to st scene dot mesh IDs and the 0. And then let's try it again. Let's bring in our st mesh service. It's only 8:36. St mesh service equals inject st mesh service. And with st mesh service, we should be able to get the mesh for a given ID. And then const mesh, which is an st. Let's see, and let's make this st mesh ID. I always want to not add the st in front of it, but that is going to be very confusing in the future. To this dot st mesh service dot get mesh by ID. So that is awesome. That was just there. We could just guess, and all of the hard work in the past has paid off. St mesh apparently is not. For some reason, yeah, sometimes it just automatically does stuff like that. Sometimes it doesn't. So now console.log need to add animation to mesh, comma, st mesh. F12 and then add mesh. And so basically we want to add it in here, and it looks like we want to take the entire thing and put it in there. So basically we want to take we want to push this. So in stmesh, if I remember correctly, we already have our animation, right? Yeah, animation dot stanimations dot push. And I don't know if this is going to work. It should. It should work. Animation. So we have references to this animation all over the place. So if we delete it, it's not going away. We're going to have to put a lot of thought into deleting when that time comes. And at that time, I'll be like, why did I do it this way? Okay, so I think it's going twice as fast now. Can't really tell, but st mesh. And what we're hoping to do is see two of these things in here. And we have two. And so the problem is now when we go here, when we look down here, now there'll be three of them in there. 1, 2, 3. If we look in our mesh, we have 3, and we don't want to have. We only want to have the original, the original one. So basically, this is step 1. So we did. That's what we did right here. So this one is done. I don't think the console logs will be helpful anymore. I think they'll actually be distracting at this point. Console log, console log, console log, and console log. All right, so next on the list is to figure out where in the world our other meshes are getting added. So how do I want to do that? I guess we'll just, from add renderer, we'll just kind of follow through. Okay, go to definition, and then do not add animation here, get base renderer. Do not add an animation here. So this is interesting because we're not doing anything like this, creating an animation function for ID. So that makes me a little nervous. So we might have the animations in there, but it may not animate. Where are we though? We are, okay, we're in the renderer service. We're getting a base renderer. Okay, so renderer function, animation service, create animation function for ID. Set animation function for ID. What happens here? Go to definition. Okay, so this returns a function, and this actually just goes through the animations. It doesn't actually create anything, so that's good. So maybe it's create set animation function. What does this one do? Okay, I'm confused. All right. I don't know what to do. Let me hit back a bunch of times and see. Add renderer. So it happens in here, I believe. This is what is where it's happening, but okay. What I wanted to do is go to here, go to definition, and I believe, yeah, here is where things are where things are getting weird. Because we're saying animate mesh, okay. Log. And then this is animate mesh. And it's just like, it's weird how things can get so intertwined, and it's just like, you're like, oh, okay, just get rid of whatever's calling it now. And then you start digging in, and it's just like, oh no, whatever's doing it now has got this side effect and that side effect. And okay, okay, so that was this guy. We don't really want this to happen anymore, right? Because literally all this does, I believe, is add the mesh. That's literally all it does. So I guess if we were to, maybe we can just get away with commenting this out completely, except for the return true. And just see if anything breaks. It wouldn't surprise me if something breaks. It also wouldn't surprise me if it all works perfectly now. Oh, see how slow it is now? So it looks like we did not, it looks like that was pretty painless. It appeared like it was going to be very painful, but let's see, we only have, I'm hoping we only have, yeah, we only have the one animation. Now let's see if I change views. Yeah, we still only have the one animation. It's still going. Now what stinks is like now we have two animations, right? But they're going the same direction. We don't have our like changing anymore. Yeah, see, they both only have one animation in there. Well, oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. The mesh. Yeah, see, it still only has one, so that's good. So it feels like I've fixed it, and it feels like whatever was calling this doesn't need to call this anymore. So animate visualization. We don't need to do this anymore, I don't think. Now I think I'm always sending the same number, um, which is weird because create count I thought would have sent a different number through. But anyways, I don't even think that matters. Um, it does, well, yeah, we're not on a consistent time, I don't think. Because it bothers me that they're not identical, because I think the animations themselves are identical, but I think they have a different start time. 12. See if we look at the animations of each one. There's two animations. Let's see, it's like identical. There's no difference. So, but I think my animation thing is not like going based off of a consistent time. That's something we're going to have to build out. So animations are going to get so much more complicated, so we definitely have to break it up. Now I'm trying to figure out, okay, as we change views, we are not getting, so I think we've fixed the, oh, are they identical now? No. Um, but I think we have solved the actual bug, which was prevent extra animations from being created. I think we have a whole function that we don't need anymore. So this is going to really mess up unit tests. Who knows? It might break end-to-end tests. I don't think so. So let's delete that. And make visualizations. So this guy doesn't need to exist anymore, I don't think. I might end up regretting deleting all this stuff, but I don't think so. Yeah, let's just comment this out before I just make sure nothing straight up breaks. So animate visualizations, I don't think is doing anything anymore. So that's a good thing. Okay, so animate visualization. And I think this animate visualization, see, this is where it'd be nice to have privates and publics and stuff like that because I think that if this was not private, I would know straight up that this is being used outside of this component. Okay, so this is doing nothing now, so I think we have that in every one of the layout templates or layout apps, I guess they would be called, little app components, layout components. Let's add this. All right, it's 8:49. I still have a little bit of time. All right, so we're good on that. Um, let's look through here. Now, this would be a good time, a very ideal time. Obviously, that count thing isn't working. But maybe I'm not. It doesn't look like I'm, um, let's see. It doesn't look like I'm actually incrementing count. Yeah, this ad. Okay, so we should increment this ad count at this point. And I guess technically we can, just for practice, we can just do this and it will update the count after. I believe if you've put the pluses before it, it updates the count before and then after. So adviz, adviz. Yeah, okay, so that's cool. Adviz, adviz. So we're back to where we were at. And it was just because of, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. That's freaking cool. Let's see if it still works over here. Okay, yeah. So that's good. So that all looks good to me. Let's go back through here again. This would be a good time to like sort of obsess about individual lines of code, but I think we'll probably want to do that during the unit tests. I think every line of code here is super clear though. Let's see. This I think is just removing the line. I think we just want to straight up remove it. I do feel like that last week, working exclusively on trying to figure out why the unit tests are, or why we're getting that crazy error. Um, I think that was like a crucible sort of situation for me, like where I've never, so it doesn't look like we need this one anymore. Where like I'll never be the same again. I think it changed my whole view of coding in Angular and using services specifically and the proper way, and even dependency injection. I feel like I've heard the definition for dependency injection at least 1,000 times, and um, it's so much clearer to me after the last week's experience. We don't need this anymore. I guess we don't want to get rid of a line just for nothing. UI service. Okay, so there's nothing in here. I'm guessing UI service like only exists because I couldn't figure out how to work between two services. All right, so back to the beginning. So this is a code only commit. Next will be, and then I want to do a commit like as this is, and then get the unit tests fixed. And there's going to be problems. There's definitely going to be broken unit tests because I'm guessing I have tests for functions that no longer exist. And there's definitely going to be I think there'll be functions that don't get called. Um, so um, anyways, so that is that. I feel like we're in a good spot. Tomorrow I'll do my commit. Well, I still have 2 minutes. Okay, this is a perfect time to do a commit. Um, terminal. It's funny because this is actually one of my easier ones to do. This is my easiest project to do commits on because um, in this project, I my Angular application is at the top, and my other projects it's not. Okay, so I can't even remember. Here we're gonna, since I've been doing so many other things, it's been so long since I did a commit over here. So what do? I say video. I give the video, the issue, and then a description. And I think I put in here. So I go, so git commit dash m, and then I know this is going to be, there's going to be, what the heck? Git status, CLS, git add, git commit dash m. This is going to be video 371, and this is issue 9, issue 9, and then code only. I think, do I put the code only up here? I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Code only. So this is not a merge commit. And then fixes multi animation issue. Okay, so do this, and I'm gonna hit enter. I'm not gonna push it. And then what I'm gonna do is next time, I think, yeah, I'm just gonna run the unit tests, make sure get the unit tests squared away, then run to end tests, end-to-end tests. I don't see why anything on end-to-end would break, but you never can tell. Um, but that is the path. It is 8:55, so this is a very, very good time for me to log off. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.